Anyone who knows me, and you probably heard me mention it on my channel before, but I worked at Disney World. Many years ago, back in 1984, I was a member of the college program, and I worked at 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I loved it, and during the 8 months I was there, I grew and learned so very much. But, as any college program kid can tell you, as any cast member can tell you, one of the greatest joys of working at Disney is being able to go to the parks whenever you want for free. I took advantage of that perk, I have to say, several times. It was during one of my early in my time as a cast member there, that I had gone to the Magic Kingdom. And in fact, I had just ridden the Haunted Mansion. Unashamedly, my favorite ride in all of Magic Kingdom, really in all of the parks. But I had just gotten off of the Haunted Mansion, and as I stood there in the exit queue, I'm kind of pondering, where do I want to go next? I could go to the left, go through Fantasyland into Tomorrowland, probably ride the People Mover, love the People Mover, or I could go to the right, through Frontierland into Adventureland to Pirates of the Caribbean, another personal favorite. Option number 3 was pretty good. Just go ride Haunted Mansion again. But as I stood there pondering these possibilities, I noticed there by the rivers of the Americas a dock that I'd never really noticed before. It wasn't the riverboat dock. It was another dock, right there by the river. I noticed a small line of people waiting to get in. And as I was watching, I noticed a small boat pulling into the dock. And I looked at the sign above the entrance to the queue, and it said Mike Fink Keelboats. So I went with option 4. I got in line for Mike Fink Keelboats and rode them. And I found another new attraction that I just fell in love with. The Mike Fink Keelboats is basically a boat ride around the rivers of the Americas, much like the riverboat or the canoes when they were there. The difference is your skipper on the keelboats would give a narration as he drove you out past the various scenes on the river. And his narration was funny and corny.
You know why we call that doggy Spot? Because he's so faithful he hasn't moved from that spot in 19 years.
Imagine the Jungle Cruise, but instead of cruising down the Amazon or the Nile, instead you're going down the Mississippi. And that was kind of the Mike Fink Keelboats. Like I said, I loved them. I rode them many more times, and in fact, before I left and came back home, I said someday I want to go back and work on the keelboats. Sadly, I never had that chance because they closed down, and I never went back to work at Disney. But something that I really liked about the keelboats, interestingly enough, was the fact that they were a free-floating boat. Remember, I drove 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That ride, the Jungle Cruise, even the riverboat. All of those boats are on a track system. So they go one direction. Whatever direction the track goes, that's where they go. The keelboats, however, were controlled by the skipper with a rudder. So he could actually dictate what direction we went, and he actually had to dock the boat, and using the rudder and using his skill as a pilot. So I fell in love with the boats for that reason. I love the dialogue. I love the funny narration. And it taught me a valuable lesson. Always keep your eyes open. You never know what you'll see. You never know what new thing you'll encounter. Thank you for sharing this with me. I hope you've enjoyed this. And I look forward to seeing you at Disney World.